I'm Francey, Slater.
And I'm Lydia, Sisson, and we're co-directors of Mill City Grows.
What do we have going on here today?
So this is the Smith Street Community Garden, and last week we installed 22 beds with over 100 volunteers. And today we're working with Youth Build to finish up the project. They're building a shed for us and helping to fill the beds with soil.
Tomorrow morning, the 22 gardeners who will be gardening at this community garden will show up bright and early to claim their plots and start putting plants and seeds in the ground. So we want to get it totally done and ready for them so that tomorrow morning we can start the growing season on a good foot.
And now you guys also have something going on Middlesex Street. Could you talk about that too?
Sure. Yeah, we're launching an urban community farm on Middlesex Street. It's going to be an educational production farm where we're going to engage residents in volunteering and educational programs there, but we're also going to be producing a ton of vegetables to distribute at the Lowell Farmers Market and also at a mobile market that's going to come to neighborhoods once a month. And we'll also sell to different organizations and restaurants as well.
And we're launching our first educational program there next Saturday, the 11th of May at 10 a.m. to 12 noon. It will be a workshop about planning your small space garden for big results. So anybody who's interested in learning more about planting, how to grow, how to extend your season and really extend your harvest should check it out. You can find us on the web at www.millcitygrows.org.
And can you talk about why community gardens and educational programs about gardening are so important and what the impact is on the community?
Absolutely. So community gardens, as you can see, they bring people together. You take a piece of land in a neighborhood that has been previously a site of lots of trash accumulation, just no beneficial use of the land, and it's actually this spot before we started clearing it and installing all the beds was really overgrown, and it was really kind of a dilapidated site that attracted negative attention. When you fill it with positivity and people who are really connected to it and who are engaged, it becomes a huge resource, not just for the food production, but also for the community resilience. People start talking to each other, they know each other, they're looking out for each other, they're looking out for the garden, and we've seen that it can really transform a neighborhood, it can really transform a block, and research shows that over 5 years, property values can increase over 9% in the vicinity of a community garden, so you can see there's economic benefits to the garden as well.
Yeah, and also, I mean, this is creating food in the city. We're growing food and households are growing food. So in our last garden, people were growing up to 100 pounds of vegetables in 4x10 pots. That's a huge amount of food to supplement a family's food budget. And so people are saving money by growing their own food. We're bettering the environment, and we're also creating community change. And so we really find that these gardens are an act in creating a more food secure and food just community.
I mean, what about this site attracted you?
Oh, the uglier the better.
Yes.
Yeah,
you give us a challenge, that's where we want to go.
Yeah.
I think, Francey and I drive around and we find any lot that looks like it needs some attention, and we're on the GIS system trying to figure out who owns it. We really believe that urban food production transforms neighborhoods. We've seen it happen in our first garden, and we're seeing it happen here every single day. When somebody dumps mattresses here, we get a call from neighbors saying, somebody dumps mattresses, I saw their license plate number. And so people are really becoming more and more accountable to their community and their neighbors. So yeah, we keep looking for anything that needs some help. We will find it. But we work with the city for our community gardens through the community garden program, and they help us find lots that they own that are not buildable that we can set up a community garden.
And what are people going to be growing right now, tomorrow?
Tomorrow they'll be planting lettuce, spinach, collard greens, kale, Swiss chard, beets, planting seeds for carrots and more of the green leafy crops. In a couple weeks we'll bring out the tomatoes and peppers and eggplants, those warmer crops. But you can grow whatever you want. If you want to grow all herbs or flowers or a mix of vegetables and fruits, it's up to you and your imagination.
We're growing some of the starts to give out to community gardens Just down the street, actually, at the Boys and Girls Club, they have a greenhouse on the side of one of their buildings that the police rent, and so they've been nice enough to let us use that space. So we're growing tons of plants for the neighborhoods and flowers and vegetables. So we'll be distributing those starting this weekend.
How about any ethnic foods?
Yeah, so that's one of the main things that community gardens do. They allow people to grow foods that are appropriate to their culture. So we had a lot of growers last year and this year who are from Burma, and they grow crops that they can't find in the grocery store, like sour leaf, and they actually eat tomato leaves in stews. And so they get to harvest these crops that are important for their meals and their diets, and they grow them all in the garden. We had a lot of lemongrass growing in the garden last year.
A lot of lemongrass, a lot of different kinds of Chinese greens and Asian cabbage and kales, and a lot of Portuguese folks down in Back Central growing a special kind of collard greens for their kale soup.
So that's
lots of different. People grow flowers that have edible parts, and like Lydia said, plants that you normally think of that you just eat one part of. Other cultures have other uses for those parts, whether it's medicinal or edible.
It's good.
Well, thank you both very much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank
Thanks
you.
so much.
Thank you guys for coming out.
Yeah.